I organized a fake wedding and married my wife, and now my actual wife is threatening to expose me. 7 years ago, I met my now wife while completing my master's degree. She was a foreign student, and we were in the same flat for student accommodation, and we hit it off immediately. It wasn't long before we started dating, and then fast forward a year or two, she decided to stay in the country, and we moved in together. I loved this woman, and things were going great, but she eventually started to bring up the topic of marriage. Her family is very traditional, and she insisted that if we were to continue being together, then we had to get married. I was strongly against this, but I seriously cannot say no to this woman, and I eventually agreed. Now here's the kicker. I'm technically still married to my ex-wife. We did not end things on good terms, so I left without getting a divorce, changed my number and contact info. I did not want to have any contact with my ex-wife, and since my wife is foreign and doesn't know the proper legal processes required to get married here, I told her that I would deal with the legal aspect while she organized the wedding. She did have some questions as to why she never had to sign anything or provide any form of ID, but I lied and said that it wasn't needed for where we live. We had a large wedding, and it would have been absolutely magical if it weren't for the fact that the whole time I was sweating bullets wondering if anyone would find out it was all a ruse. The only people who had any idea it wasn't a proper wedding were the staff, whom I told that we were already legally married and were having a reception now that we had the money. We've been married for almost 3 years now, and she still has absolutely no idea, and it seemed like I had gotten away with the impossible. That was until last week when my actual wife reached out to me. Apparently, she found out through a mutual friend that I had remarried and got my contact info from them. She called me all sorts of names and said that she would make sure that my wife finds out about my lies. I begged her not to and offered to get an actual divorce. But she told me that it was too late for that. I've been stressed out of my mind these past few days and honestly don't know what to do. Telling my wife is absolutely off the table, as I know for a fact that she would leave me without hesitation. So yeah, that's my situation. The last couple of days have been a whirlwind, and I'm making this update to say that you all were right. My ex told my wife about the false marriage, and my life has completely collapsed. My now ex-wife completely blew a gasket and was furious with me. She accused me of keeping her as a mistress so I could have 2 wives, which I tried to tell her wasn't true. But she wasn't having it. She stormed out of the house and is staying with a friend, and the closest thing to contact I've had with her is through this friend. She told our friends, my family, and even my job about what happened, and they are all taking her side and have shut me out completely. I got fired, and my dad called me up last night and told me that I am not welcome back home and not to contact my parents or my family. I genuinely don't know what to do now, as I will not be able to pay my rent, especially without my wife helping out financially. A lot of you mentioned the issue of immigration, which I thought would not be a problem since she had a work visa. As it turns out, she had a work visa, but it expired a long time ago. She thought that she would be fine since we were married, but after she learned it was a sham, she has been in a lot of hot water. Apparently, after she contacted the Home Office, they said that if she did not get voluntarily deported, she would be detained and will get a minimum 2 or even 5-year ban from entering the country regardless. I am not entirely sure how her family took the news, but according to the friend she is staying with, they are not happy with her and might not take her back either. So yeah, a lot has happened. I feel like complete ES asterisk 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 and know that this could have all been avoided, and now I have completely blown up both of our lives.